All right, I thought something that would be really cool is I mentioned yesterday. No, I mentioned it the day before and then yesterday about going through and giving a tip for playing Brig into all of the tanks. Um,
Man flesh.
Going through and kind of talking through at least one tip for playing Brig into every tank because I think sometimes Brig gets people have a misconception about Brig where they say like Junker Queen counters Brig, Reinhardt counters Brig, Ramattra counters Brig, right? Because like if you get right up on them, they're gonna tear through you. They're gonna absolutely sit your ass down, right? But I don't necessarily think that's true, and I don't ever really feel a hard time playing into any tank, especially. Um, so a little bit of I thought it would be fun to go through and give a little bit of advice. Honestly, I think like the most challenging tank to play into is a little bit Zarya. So like easy ones, if you're playing into a D.Va, the best thing, a big tip for a D.Va is she is free inspire, right? She has defense matrix, which is her biggest defense, sorry to use the same word, which is her biggest defense and counterplay, but that absolutely does not interact with you, right? So if you just continue to hit her with whip shot off cooldown, she's a big ass target with this big old face. Her defense matrix will not stop your whip. Farm inspire off of her. You can also deny high ground a lot of the time. D.Va is really easy to deny high ground for. I think a good example of this is like playing Numbani, defense on Numbani first point. If you're playing up on that high ground with the DPS, D.Va flies up there, knock her down. Her cooldown for fly, once she flies back up there, you've got whip again. Knock her back down. Brig is really good at farming inspire off of D.Va and denying her high ground. Playing into Doomfist, this is dive. Brig is really, or anti-dive is a really natural play style for Brig. Big things with Doom are going to be charge canceling. When he goes to punch, you time it right, bash into him, put him on his back. Two big things to remember about this is one, when you charge cancel, you are just as vulnerable as he is, right? He's going to fall flat on the ground, but so are you. So you want to be mindful and like pick and choose between when you bash into him to stun him and when you're trying to bash away to just avoid the punch. Because like if you're playing near the front and he goes to punch in with the rest of his team behind you and you fall flat right in front of his team, you're going to blow the hell up. You're just as vulnerable, right? So big things to think about are when you choose to, as fun as it is to put him on his back, you don't always want to put him on his back. You want to pick and choose like when it is safe to do that. Other things are you can respond to his punch by whipping him. Like if you whip him as he's charging up his punch, a lot of the times you'll knock him off kilter, make him miss his punch, things like that. Be careful whipping him when he's blocking. Oh, hey, thanks, Hika.
Man flesh.
Be careful whipping him when he's blocking. Whip shotting him while he's blocking will not fully give him empowered, but if the rest of your team lacks discipline and they go to shoot him, he'll get charged real quick. So that's your Doomfist tip. Also, you can shield his ult. When he goes to ult, as long as you're not standing in the innermost circle, if you hold up shield, you'll live it. Playing into Hazard, a lot of this comes into kind of like how you play on Winston or D.Va. Like you're really good at denying him his high ground, knocking his ass down. Every time he goes to jump. If you knock him and just deny him that jump, he loses so much mobility. It's a really short cooldown, so you have to be on top of his ass, his little jump. But he comes to jump, whip shot him, knock him back, loses momentum, deny him that engagement. That's the biggest thing for playing into Hazard. Also, Hazard's ult, Brig can completely block Hazard's ult. With your base shield, when Hazard ults, if you just turn and tilt your shield up, you don't even have to fully throw your shield up, like fully up. If you just tilt it a little bit so that it's at an angle, it'll block Hazard's ult from above, and it won't break your shield to do it. Junker Queen is really fun. Again, this is one of those heroes that people will be like, well, Brig, Junker Queen counters Brig, because like if a Junker Queen gets right up on you, she gonna shred through you, right? She gonna hurt you. But Brig has so much counterplay into Junker Queen. The first thing that I'll say that you should look for is her axe. Her axe is one of her absolute best cooldowns. The more people she hits with it, the lower the cooldown, and she gets lifesteal from it. So you really want to deny her that. It has a really long windup. She makes a very audible noise when she's about to do it. You hear her do that. You see her going for the axe. Whip shot her. Knock her back out of range. You deny her the cooldown reduction. You deny her the lifesteal. She doesn't do that damage, and she's wasted one of her best cooldowns. That's the biggest thing with Junker Queen, I think, is just constantly looking for those axes and to whip her out of them. Other really great counterplay Brig has into Junker Queen is Junker Queen's ult. One, it's fairly easy to counter, like to stun out of it. If you stun her at any point on her path, she leaves the ult. Now, of course, it's best if you can get right in her face and stun it during the cast time, but during the channeled like dash part, you can stun her out of it as well. But Brig's ult gives overhealth within an 8-meter radius. Overhealth goes on top of anti. So if she dashes through your team, you ult, get your team some overhealth so that they have that to buffer against the anti, and then stun her, whip her back. You deny her some of that range. You deny her access to your team, and you help counter the anti and get a little bit of overhealth to power through. Mauga! Okay, Mauga will shred you. Biggest thing with Mauga is you don't want to expose yourself to him for any sort of period of time, long period of time, because he will shred you, especially like your shield. He powers through it quick, right? The biggest thing with Mauga is just farming Inspire off of him, right? Like, he's a big-ass dude. I mean, he's a big-ass dude, right? He's easy to just smack, and he doesn't have anything to really stop you from smacking him. He doesn't have a shield. He doesn't have anything that
Man flesh.
really denies you that. And his whole playstyle is going to be like far more brawly and having access to him. So he's just easy Inspire access, right? That's the biggest thing. Canceling his ult, you can also cancel his ult. His is a really strong one to cancel. Usually they super telegraph it. You will see, if as long as you're ult tracking and you know when he has his ult, he'll use his charge, he'll try to run into your team. You want to, as soon as if you think that he has his ult, right, and you want to cancel it, when he charges into your team, you need to hit rally, because once you rally, there's a little bit of a delay before you can bash, even if it resets the bash, right? So you want to go ahead and have rally and wait until he stomps, and then almost immediately bash. You'll hear just the faintest say, and you've got to hit him on that say, right? And you'll cancel him out of it. Another tip with with him, this is really situational, right? But a counterplay into Mauga, if you have rally, is when Mauga does his right, he gets a little bit of lifesteal from that and from the burning, but only if he actually does damage to someone. Only if he actually gets damage on someone. So like, let's say you hear that Mauga go aha, and he's like face tanking with your tank right now. If you rally and you stand in front of him with your shield and you can let him shred your shield a little bit. That's 700 damage that he's not doing to get that life steal, and usually he will blow up because he's face tanking, he's committing to an engagement right now, and he's relying on that health steal, and you have fully cut him off from it. And a lot of the time, if your team is paying attention, he will blow the fuck up. Playing Brig into Orisa, big things are, again, she's like a sturdy target that's kind of always there. You can farm a lot of Inspire off of her, mess her up. Big things with Orisa is you want to be tracking her gold. You'll hear me shout out like Horse Erect or Horse Flaccid when she's gold or when she's out of gold, just because, like, I love my silly comms, right? She's pretty good for farming Inspire off of. She only, outside of her perk that gives her a shield, she only has one ability that really like denies you Inspire, and it's going to be her Javelin Spin. And you can easily track that. Most of the time she's using that responsively. So like if you just peek out and whip on her, like she's not going to use that, When Orisa goes to ult, so if you are playing and you know that Orisa is coming in for ult, right? She probably has it, and she starts getting aggressive like they do. They want to spear into your backline or javelin spin into your backline and then hit their funny button. Do not bash. Wait until she uses her ult and pulls you in. Because if you see her coming in and you reactively turn to bash and get out, she's going to suck you back in with her ult, and then you're stranded, right? You want to let her suck you in, and then you want to shield bash out and get away from her a little bit. Counterplay for playing into her. Her cooldowns are also really important, I think. You can block them. You see her going for a shield, going for a spear, throwing up that shield, blocking a spear, whether she's trying to hit you or hit your teammate. Denies her a really great cooldown. Stunning her out of her javelin spin, making her bitchless, leaving her without cooldowns, also super big. Generally, just don't let her up on you. Again, with any tank, if they get right up on you and they are like full health, they have resources. You just want to whip shot them, shield bash away. All right, Ramattra, another one of these bitches, another one of the tanks that people like to go through and say counters Brig, right? Like, don't Brig into Ramattra. The thing with Ramattra is don't engage with him. Don't let him get up on you. You shouldn't be brawling with him in the first place. If Ramattra starts to walk up on you, whip shot him, shield bash away. And remember that his punches will break your shield. Fun fact, they go through barriers, but it damages your shield too, right? Anyway, whip shot, shield bash out. You can waste a Ramatra's time a lot of the time. Not a great Ramatras will get really aggressive. They'll go big and they'll start punching on you, right? You whip them, you shield bash away. Whip shot has a 4-second cooldown. If he starts to int and go after you, You turn around, whip shot him again. He's out of his big form. You shield bash away if you need to, but you just want to kite that. You really want to kite anytime he's in his punchy mode. You really want to kite that and be careful. You don't want to let your shield break, especially with a Ramattra. Do not let your shield break. I know that like some people will think, oh well, he punches through shield, so like it doesn't matter. But again, your shield is how you get out. Your shield is how you protect yourself and deal with that. When he ults, whip shot his ass. Whip shot him away from your team. Whip shot him away from you. So yeah, with Ramattra, a lot of it is just like wasting his cooldowns, whipping him back. When he ults, if he starts walking on you and your team, whip shot him, shield bash away. You want to just like waste his time and run that out and deny him access to your team. So whip shot him, shield bash out. He's still walking on your team. Turn around, kind of watch for him. Whip shot him again, and just try to deny him as little value as you can with your whip. Reinhardt, again, another tank that people will say counters Brig, because they think like, oh well, if I'm a Brig and I'm up on top of Reinhardt's face, he's gonna swing on me and he's gonna kill me. Which like, yes, but you're a support and he's a tank, so like of course, don't allow him access to you. Big things with Rein are you have so much counterplay to fuck on Rein. You can disrupt Rein in so many ways on Brig. I know the first obvious thing that people will think of is shield bash canceling or charge canceling. Rein goes to charge, bash into him, you both fall flat on your back, right? You can also save your teammates. Something to keep in mind here. You bashing into Reinhardt while he is stealing your teammate will count as a surface. It will still pin them into you. So, for example, if he is charging another squishy and you bash into him, it will cancel the bash. Your squishy will still die because he slams them into you. He pins them into you and it still counts and does the damage. So, keep that in mind. But like if he's charging your tank, your tank will live and he falls over for a second. Same thing with Doom. Something to keep in mind is that bashing, when you charge cancel a Rein, you're going to fall flat on your back too. So you're going to be terribly vulnerable for a moment. So if he's charging right in front of his team, you might want to bash away or whip shot him off of his charge trajectory instead of bashing him, because you will be just as vulnerable falling right in front of his team. Also, the moment he gets up, you guys are going to be bumping purses, right? You're going to be right up on him. That's not where you want to be on a Reinhardt. So you want to get up and immediately whip shot his ass and try to back off as soon as you've got bash away from him, because he's going to get up and he's going to start swinging on you and you're going to have a bad time, right? Other really great things to think of with Reinhardt. Reinhardt is so fun to mess up with whip shot. You don't have to charge cancel his charge. You can, a lot of the times, whip shot him, make him hit a wall, make him go off his trajectory, make him miss. You can mess him up so bad. For his ult, you can shield it. Super, super easy. Big things to remember. Make sure your shield is all the way on the ground. It does travel through the ground. So if your shield is off the ground even a little bit, you will get shattered. I like to whip shot him right into my nearest teammate. Yeah, make him hit it. Make him hit it. So blocking shatters, canceling shatter is also generally really easy. I've talked before about playing chicken. Reinhardt is a good character to play chicken with. Like, you want to be careful because you have to commit rally to do this, right? Rein is one you should be ult tracking because you need to block it. You need to be on top of that. But if you want to cancel Rein out of his ult, except outside of just looking for it, because Rein's telegraph their ult generally, like really clearly they telegraph. When a Rein starts moving, like he has shatter. Playing chicken is especially good if you're like in an overtime fight. If you just need to win this fight and not let him use shatter for this fight, it's a little bit of a gamble. What you do is, let's say it's in overtime and you're brawling. Let's say we're on like Busan or something where we're like capturing a point, right? And you know that he has it, and you know that he wants it. Sometimes I will ult and just get up in his face, daring him to ult, right? Because he is making this play around the idea that he's going to have ult and he's going to get to do something with it. One of two things is going to happen. I'm going to ult and I'm going to exist around him, and he's going to think and go, I can't ult right now, or Brig is, save your bash. That's the big thing. You want to ult and get and like play up on him, but save your bash. Don't use your bash yet so that you have it. And you basically play a game of chicken with him, where either he is going to go, I can't ult right now because the Brig has that. Your team is going to focus him, and he'll die and end the fight without getting to use his ult, because he knows that you will cancel it the moment he uses it. Or he will go to you, he'll ego and he won't think about it, and he'll go to use it and you'll cancel him out of it and waste that ult for the fight. The thing is, you're fully committing your ult for the chance that he might not use it. So you're just buying time. It's really good, especially for overtime or like point capping, anything like that. Big things with Hog,
Man
playing into
flesh.
Hog. One, it goes back to he's just easy Inspire Farm, right? He's a big dude. He's a big dude. He's a big dude. He's easy to farm Inspire off of. He doesn't have a shield. He doesn't have anything to block you or prevent your whip shot. The biggest thing with Roadhog is learn to cooldown track. Learn to track hook. Even if you out loud have to say to yourself, no hook, right? You want to wait, peek him, maybe even try to bait the hook. As soon as he hooks, then you whip shot, right? Like you're just trading chains. You're just whipping back and forth. He throws out his hook. You know that you have a couple seconds to hop out and whip him without any worry, right? You also have an advantage playing into him in that you can peek him more safely than most of your teammates can because you have a shield, right? Like you can go around the corner and look at him and not worry about getting hooked because you have your shield. So big things with him, easy to farm Inspire off of, track his hook, call his hooks, and just trade chains. He goes to hook, you whip shot him. You know, being on top, if he hooks one of your teammates, you can also pack them for that burst healing. I think especially into a Roadhog, sometimes that burst, the extra burst on your pack can be really, really good. Like if he hooks one of your squishies and you instantly just pack them, that's gonna get them through the Hog one shot combo most of the time, you know. Things to think about playing into a Hog. Just track his hook. All right, playing Brig into Sigma. Playing Brig into Sigma. I kind of like, usually he has a shield, right? But a good Sigma is generally like moving his shield around a lot. He's using it very tactfully. A lot of the time he'll use it to like section off specific DPS, use it to protect his team, whatever. So you have to, you know, he can prevent your whip with his shield a little bit. But like when he goes to do his suck, that doesn't prevent whip shot. So generally he's also another good target to mess with and get farm Inspire off of. He's doing his suck, you get a free whip on him, he can't hurt you. When he goes to ult, you can bash out of it. You have to be really, really quick. Like the moment you see that red circle appear under you, you have to bash out of it, but you can bash out of it. You can also cancel his ult. I know he's hard because a lot of the time he ults and he goes up high in the air, right? But if you manage to hit him with rally while he's ulting, you'll cancel it. You'll stun him out of it. You're good. He's decently easy to farm Inspire off of. Just, I think big things are don't let him break your shield. He can spam out your shield somewhat. I think splash damage especially tends to really hurt shields, bounce and splash damage. So, you know, things to keep in mind with Sigma. Another track is cooldowns. If you can shield his rock, always huge, always huge. Rock is really big. It's one of his best cooldowns. It makes one of your teammates really, really vulnerable if it hits. Try to shield his rock. Also, a lot of the times, if I get right up on a Sigma, if he goes to rock you while you're right up on him, he can take damage from it too. So if you shield it directly in his face, he'll take damage from it. Winston Brig is a really interesting matchup, right? Because Brig is anti-dive and Winston is dive. So you think that like, oh, Brig is really good into Winston. Winston is really good into Brig as well. It's a really interesting matchup that I think comes down to skill. It's always fun, but it's hard. You have to be really on top of it. Brig has a lot of counterplay into Winston. Winston has a lot of counterplay into Brig. The best case scenario, Winston goes to jump in, whip shot him, waste his jump, right? You deny him the engage, you waste that cooldown, you make him sit for a couple seconds out of position without his jump. He might get stranded. So best case scenario, catch him with his jump, whip shot him, knock him down. Yeah, whip shot him, knock him down, deny him the dive. Now, what a good Winston will do is he will jump, and in his trajectory, he will then drop his shield in the air to block your whip, to stop you, right? And if he does that, it's just rough, right? The best case scenario then is just to bash out. Like, you want to get away with him. You do not want to brawl with Winston. He goes through your shield. He goes through your armor. He hurts. He hurts. Best case scenario, whip him and mess up his jump. You want to just deny him those engagements. But once he gets in, you want to pack your team and get the hell out. You do not want to brawl with Winston. He will mess you up. You can shield his secondary fire, his ranged secondary fire. You can shield that. So like if at a distance he's chasing you, it is sometimes worth it to shield it. But Winston will shred you. So a lot of it comes down to, I think, like skilled gameplay between you. This is Brig has counterplay into Winston. Winston has counterplay into Brig. It's a strong matchup. If he starts ulting, shield bash becomes really, really good. Don't let him break your shield. But if he's like trying to throw you up into a wall, if you can like bash around him and get out into the open, like a lot of the times you'll see Winston's trying to zone you so that they can ult and put you into a wall and juggle you against it and pin you up there, right? You don't want to get into that situation. So if you see him like trying to zone you up against a wall, if you can manage to bash past him or bash into the open in some way so that he has to change direction, chase you a little bit, put you against a different wall, it really, really helps. My personal favorite tank matchup! Ah, my favorite! If there's a ball on the enemy team, I'm beaming. I'm having a great time. I love, right? If you're playing Brig into ball, playing Brig into ball is so much fun. It's my favorite tank matchup. Biggest things to be thinking about when you're playing Brig into ball is disrupting his momentum, disrupting his engagements, disrupting his dive. You have two different abilities that mess up his engagements. When he goes to swing in, you can whip shot him. That's the most certain way. It's going to provide the most like counter force that will mess up his momentum. But you can also bash into him. Things like body blocking him, bashing into him, messing up his momentum. It's free Inspire. You kind of constantly have access to him because he's constantly going to be swinging around trying to challenge. You want to protect your squishies, protect your other supports. Don't let him engage on your DPS. And just watch for him. You really want to track him and where he is. Look for him setting up for swings, whip shot him, mess up his momentum. Look at him swinging in, bash him, upset his momentum. When he goes to slam, like if you hear or you see him even like starting to swing up in the air, like he's gonna slam, you want to hold up your shield and look for him. You have to make sure your shield is fully on the ground, right? So sometimes it gets difficult. You really need to pay attention to your auditory cues. Because if you look up, it happens really, really fast, right? And if you look up into the air to track where he is to shield it, your shield is off the ground because you're looking up. Your shield has to be on the ground. But if he slams and you shield it, you won't get slammed. You protect from that. Another tip for playing into ball, ball mines provide Inspire. I don't know why. I'm not complaining. Ball's ult, his proximity mines, they do provide Inspire and proc Inspire for you. Which also you can stagger out a little bit. Inspire has a 1 second cooldown before it can be procced again. So like swing on one, wait a second. Swing on another. You got a couple seconds of just straight fucking straight Inspire. Zarya. So we saved the best for last. Zarya is genuinely the tank that I feel like will gives me the hardest time on Brig. She's the one that I have to be like the most intentional about proccing Inspire with, right? Because a lot of the time you can farm a lot of your Inspire off the tank. They're easily accessible. They're usually a big target. They're right in the front. They're the easiest one for you to peek. Zarya's bubbles are going to deny you a lot of Inspire. So ability tracking becomes so important with Zarya. You want to track her bubbles, know how many bubbles she has, know when she's using them, when she's out of them. So I think the biggest thing with Zarya comes down to like tracking her cooldowns, and praying your team doesn't give her charge. Don't whip her when she's bubbled. It happens sometimes, but try not to. But as she feels, I think a lot of the time I feel held hostage by my team playing into a Zarya because like I'm not the one charging her. I'm not the one with a gun. But if my team charges her, I am most definitely the one that's going to have the consequences. She's going to shred through your shield real fucking quick and she's a nightmare. So honestly, out of all of them, I think Zarya is the hardest. Like Zarya is the one that I have to be the most mindful playing Brig into. Her bubbles deny you a lot of Inspire access. If your team charges her and you are just held hostage at their bad habits and you're going to die for it. Sometimes Rally can get you through a Grav. Not always. You still can't bash when you're in Grav, but you can provide a really, really big shield. You can get your team some overhealth. So sometimes Rally can be a good answer for Grav. Your whole team gets Graved. You rally, you sustain through it, but that's really only if like the Zarya's trying to walk on you herself. You know, if they commit another ult, like it's Grav with Pharah ult or something like that, Grav with dragons, you're just gonna waste Rally and you're just gonna die. But yeah, that's kind of my rundown of playing Brig into all the tanks. This is gonna be your hardest time, in my humble but accurate opinion.